Hello everyone, JRDeal96 here with a brand new episode of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now last time we saw the cantina and we saw some holographic band play and shit, and then someone shot me and didn't want me to enjoy my time in the cantina. This is actually a take 2 of today's video because I just started recording the second one of the night, and again the Wi-Fi went out, so let's just pray to God it does not happen again. Three, two, one, let's go. Let's just pray to God it doesn't happen again. Holy shit, dude. I got so fucking mad. And the thing is, it wasn't like that the other time with World War II. It wasn't like I already had a match done. I just started the very first match and then immediately dead. Like, my Wi-Fi said, fuck it. So it was completely different than the last time. And unfortunately, I had to only do one video that night. I had planned to do 3 that night. But for some reason, I don't know why, just the Wi-Fi just decided, you know what, fuck you. And a lot has happened. Obviously, this is because the last video I was debating about what would they show in Infinity War, and we all know what happened because I just watched it. Holy fucking shit, dude. Oh my god. Just pure fucking chaos and pure fucking epicness in that trailer, if I ever seen. That movie is gonna be it's gonna be so fucking epic. I don't believe it will be a flop. It will fucking do well, for sure. It's gonna make $1 billion regardless. But I'm wondering if the Russos could pull it off, because this is the first Avengers film that Joss Whedon has not directed. Speaking of Joss Whedon, I know I said I was going to see Justice League, and I actually did, by the way, but I haven't really gotten the chance to really discuss it. So I felt like this was appropriate to finally discuss Justice League and my thoughts on the whole film. And just as I thought, the critics shit on it and hate the film. Well, I don't give a fuck about critics. I really don't. Fuck, I could have gotten somebody, but whatever. So, what was my thought about the movie? I personally enjoyed it. I liked it. Did I hate it? No. Did I dislike it? No. Is it worse than Thor: The Dark World? Or Iron Man 3? Or Batman vs. Superman? No. It's alright. Like, it's not great. It's just, it's fun. But, it's a fun movie, but flawed. Like, I'll be fair and say it was fun. It was great. Like, it wasn't the greatest, but it was good. It was an okay film. It was good. But there were some things that bothered me, but then again, I'm like, well, then again, this film had to get reshot because the studio doesn't like Zack Snyder for some reason. And now I see all over the place now petitions for a Zack Snyder version of the movie. I'm like, oh, dude. You know, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And you know what I get a vibe of? I get this vibe, like this deja vu. Not because I know, because I wasn't around at the time when this happened. But it kind of reminds me of how Superman 2 happened. Like, at first Richard Donner was directing, and then I guess the studio wanted to do something else, and then Donner said, fuck you, and he left the director's job for Superman 2, and then they got a new director, and then we got Superman 2. And we all know what happened in that movie. Kneel before Zod. It was still a good movie, but it was just we just had no idea what Richard Donner had in mind. Because it was really, really early in production. that was the thing, because Superman the movie and Superman 2 were shot back to back. And I had never knew that. Well, because the 2 year difference between 1978, no, 1978 was it? 1978 when Superman the movie came out? I'm pretty sure it was 78, but I'm kind of having that fear that it's probably 1979. But I think it's 1978 for sure. But I just remember, like, yeah, we all know what happened in that movie, but then in almost like 25 years later or something, a director's cut of Superman 2 called the Richard Donner Cut was released, and it involved, there was something almost like some similar shit, but then again there was like the ending scene when, if you don't know, obviously we all know what happened in Superman 2, so I'm not going to say spoilers because it's 20 years, over 30 years, this film is over 30 years old, so kind of too late on that. But in the original film that we got, Superman, like, reveals his identity to Lois, and he decides to give up his powers to be with Lois. And then, you know, Zod and his friends come in and try to sabotage the world. And he decides to come back. And then after defeating Zod and his crew, he kisses Lois Lane to make her, and wipes her memory of her knowing that Clark and Superman are the same. But in the Richard Donner cut, I don't know. I know back in the day it was kind of, I kind of think it was stupid too. But hey, it's Superman. Superman can do anything he can do. To be honest, Superman can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's the most OP character in history. Like, in the first Superman, Lois dies, and Superman is grieving, and he screams in the air, screams up into the sky, and then he hears his father, Marlon Brando, I think his name is, the actor. He's like, "It's forbidden for you to interfere in human history." And you keep hearing that over and over again, and Superman just says, "Fuck it. I'm just gonna go fucking reverse the time then." By spinning around the Earth like the Flash, and just reversing the Earth's rotation. How cheesy is that? Like, how stupid does that sound? How stupid does that sound? Like, it's the cheesiest thing, but yeah, now it's become infamous because it's kind of like the thing that Superman has never done. But then again, these fucking comic book writers come up with the weirdest shit every day when writing Superman. They come up with these new fucking abilities for him, like that super flare power, which never existed until fucking it never existed until like 2015. Like, it's just, they come up with new abilities for Superman on the fly because he's the most powerful being the most powerful, one of the most powerful superheroes. And they always come up with new powers on the fly. Like, even in the god awful Superman 4, the quest for cock. I don't know, the quest for peace. I don't even know what the fuck it was. Like, he fucking uses his some kind of vision to. He just uses his concentration vision to fucking rebuild the Great Wall of China. I swear, like, back in the day, just based on what I see now, I'm like, Jesus Christ, who came up with that? Who came up with the fact, oh, let's have Superman just go spin the Earth around, and then but then some other dummy was like, well, why not have Superman rebuild the Great Wall of China with his eyes? Have with concentration vision, I don't know. The Great Wall of China repair. I don't know, the renovator, I have no idea. The renovator vision, I have no clue. They come up with the stupidest shit. But then getting back to what I was saying originally, in the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, Superman does the same thing in the first film. Spins the Earth around. How fuck, like, really, Richard Donner? I honestly prefer the original cut of the film instead of yours. So, getting to really what I was really talking about and what I had this, like, vibe of. We're probably going to see a not Richard Donner. We're going to have a Zack Snyder cut at some point. I don't know when, but most likely we'll have a cut, a director's cut or a Zack Snyder cut. And I did see that some people have made a petition for it already, a Zack Snyder cut of the movie, and I can tell that a lot of scenes that were in the trailers were not, most of them were not even in the actual movie.
Have one of these. First order isn't putting up much of a fight.
Couldn't get anybody. Hey, whatever. Like, seriously, like, I don't know what really went wrong. I don't know if Warner Brothers was panicking. To be honest, it just felt too short. The movie was short. Too short. It just felt too short to do. It was like pretty much, it kind of felt like the pacing kind of felt rushed near the end of the movie. It kind of felt like rushed because obviously it was 2 hours. The movie was 2 hours. What are you going to do in 2 hours? How are you going to flesh out this movie in 2 hours? How are you going to tell a great story like that about the Justice League in 2 hours? Just under 2 hours. You can't. It's impossible. It should have been at least like 2.5. And I feel like this is just like what happened with Batman vs. Superman. Originally 3 hours, rated R, and then they panicked and like, we gotta have this marketed to the main audience. Let's make it PG-13. Because apparently these days is to make every fucking movie neutered, get like every like director's vision of a movie neutered for PG-13 audience. That's pretty much what today's day and age is. Look at fucking, like, the first Anaconda, which was, like, rated R. And then you have the sequel, like, 7 years later, rated PG-13, and just downgraded. Like, there was, like, a vampire movie. I have no idea what the name of it was. It was originally going to be rated R, but apparently... Oh, some stupid fucking executive was like, we need to be PG-13. Babylon AD? No, I don't know. It was like some Vin Diesel movie. Well, that was not the vampire movie. That I'm just keep jumping from one film to another. There was another film with Vin Diesel, the Babylon AD or whatever. I don't think it's called that. It was something with Vin Diesel and Babylon. Hollywood Babylon with Kevin Smith. I have no idea. It was supposed to be like rated R, like the director wanted to be rated R, but I guess the studio was like, no, we want it to be PG-13, PG-13. Because it's true. And it shows. Most rated R movies don't get marketed. Won't get marketed as much on major TV networks. Because they're afraid that kids are gonna see it. God fucking damn it. Are you shitting me? Like, really? You think that the kids are gonna look at fucking, like, Jason Voorhees and think, oh, I want to see that? Or if they're gonna see somebody like Antisepticeye and then they're gonna be like, oh, I want to see that. I want to see a movie. I want to see that movie. What, like, really? Don't you really think that... I think the first R-rated movie I saw was Watchmen. That was the first rated R movie I saw, and I think I was 13, but I was with my dad and my mom. And yeah, Watchmen was rated R, and it was brutal. Like, there was like one scene with Rorschach killing a guy with, like, I think like a pickaxe or some kind of like cutting axe, like for like one of those kitchen utensils that you just chops him in the head. and there was like a sex scene. I don't remember with who. Night Owl and somebody else. I have no idea. Like the girl that was in that fucking yellow and that was pretty much the human Bumblebee. I have no idea. That costume kind of reminds me of the bump. Like it was yellow and black. So it was like apparently the actress who played that character hated that costume so much. Oh, it was like apparently according to her it was like wearing a condom. Oh god, like, what was that? And who directed that movie? Zack Snyder. It's kind of funny that most of these great movies, like most of these DC movies lately, have been directed by Zack Snyder. And what do they end up becoming? Complete shit. Because the critics don't like. Apparently the critics don't like it. Well, maybe you gotta point. You can't point the fingers at the critics. I'm not trying to point the fingers at them because it's not really their fault. To be honest, it's not. To be honest, it's not the critics' fault about the whole Batman vs Superman and Justice League and Suicide Squad flops that occurred. It's not their fault. It's just unfortunately fucking studio interference. That's why. We have fucking studios that panic and think, oh, no one wants to see it. And then they fucking say, alright, we need to fucking redo everything. And look, I want to see DC succeed. That kind of rhymes. I want to see DC do well. I want to see where this universe actually goes. I actually want to see where this universe goes, especially with the post-credit scene at the end of Justice League. With spoilers, Deathstroke, Slade Wilson, the man who pretty much gave birth to Deadpool. God, that's just like, I think, the original name of Deadpool. Captain Deadpool. This shit's gonna have nuts in it. Oh, God. Oh, God, I don't know. But overall, I enjoyed Justice League. I seriously enjoyed the movie. I don't care about critics. I don't really care about... Like, I really don't really care that much about plot. I just want to be entertained. Like, I care about plot to a point, but just... At least I know there's some... It kind of makes sense. And honestly, it kind of made sense, but then again, it kind of felt a little rushed. Because I think DC Warner Brothers once again panicked. And apparently there's now rumors now that Warner Brothers wanted to fire Zack Snyder after Batman vs Superman's failure. Seriously? You know who I point the blame at? You, Warner Brothers. Don't blame Zack Snyder. He's not the one to blame. It's you who decided to fucking fiddle around with your fucking bullshit and make it to like this clusterfuck that ended up getting when it came out. But then when we see the actual Ultimate Edition, it kind of fixes some things, but it still kind of felt a little flat. But to be honest, it didn't deserve a fucking the rating it got on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think Justice League deserves the rating that it has on Rotten Tomatoes either. Suicide Squad 2, but jeez, like, I don't know what it is. Look, I'm not going to say that Disney is paying off critics, because that just kind of seems very unlikely, and that's just kind of fucking BS. Kind of fucking stupid to think. Why would they do that? Like, why would they waste all their money just to do that? Especially to X-Men, when they're somewhat close to a deal with Fox. Like, yeah, you want to pay off critics to fucking hate on the Fox Marvel movies and DC movies. But there was also Deadpool and Logan. Those movies got great reviews and shit, but X-Men Apocalypse and Jesus, I don't know, man. But there was like one particular scene that I couldn't stop laughing at, and it was with Batman, and then it was when they revived Superman. They revived Superman, and with the mother box, and Superman is acting like weirded out and shit because he got brought back from the dead, and he's like not himself. There was like a particular moment when Batman finally comes in, and then he like Superman is holding him by the neck, by the throat, and he's like, "I don't like you," like, and then he goes, "Tell me, do you bleed?" And then after they bring in the big guns, according to the Batman, Lois, and Superman flies away with Lois. Batman's laying on the ground. Batman's laying on the ground. It's just, he's like, oh yeah, there's something definitely bleeding. Something's definitely bleeding. I just busted out laughing. That just felt so funny. But then there was, also another funny scene was with after they defeat Steppenwolf, and they separated all three mother boxes, and Superman and Cyborg are down, and then Superman just goes, "I take that back. I want to die." And then Cyborg starts laughing, and then I'm like, it just felt something like Superman would never, usually wouldn't, that just kind of didn't seem like something that Superman would say. I want to die. He's the most OP superhero in history, and he's like, I want to die. I'm pretty sure he didn't say that when he was fighting Goku in Death Battle. I don't know. But that was kind of funny. I kind of laughed at that. But yeah, the post-credit scene, there was that fun post-credit scene with Flash and Superman about to have a race with each other because, you have to do it because you have the two fat... I just love that. There was like the other one before the Do You Bleed, when Aquaman, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman are trying to hold down Superman, and the Flash tries to run at Superman, and Superman just turns around to lock eyes with the Flash, and the Flash is like, "What the fuck?" That was just done to pretty much say Superman is faster than a speeding bullet, and he can process and track things a lot faster than any other human could. So yeah. So overall, I enjoyed Justice League. It doesn't deserve the criticism that it's gotten. It really just needs to. I think they just need to find their perfect. I think they did all right with the tone, but it's just how can you go from very weird and serious, from dark and gritty to dark and gritty to dark and gritty to somewhat dark and gritty, like how can you go from dark and gritty to colorful and humorous like the Marvel movies? Like, once you establish that, like, I think Warner Brothers saw the fact that someone who has throat cancer, with the tone of that movie being dark and gritty and dark and serious, was money. And I'm referring to the Chris Nolan Batman movies. Because I think Warner Brothers saw that was money, and they were like, okay, we have to make a cinematic universe for DC with Superman. And look how that, it kind of worked, but not really. But then again, a lot of comic book fans were bitching and moaning that the fucking Metropolis was destroyed. But don't you fucking realize that it's fucking a origin story, douchebag? Like, he's not gonna learn that the fact that humans live. That moment came when he saw Zod was about to kill those innocent civilians, and he had no choice but to snap the neck of Zod. And that pissed a lot of people off too, but so fucking what? It's a movie. It's a fucking movie. So what? I don't know why they were bitching and moaning at that. Like, it really didn't. It just, I didn't get. When I saw people, it just kind of reminded me of the people who hated the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. I'm like, so fucking what? I don't read the comics, so I could care less about that. I could care less. I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't give a flying fuck. I thought they did it. I thought they really. I think it was also done just to say, hey, maybe the Mandarin is somewhat still out there. Well, they had to do it because they had to do that one shot with the guy who played the Mandarin, the actor, Trevor or something his name is, who played the Mandarin on the TV, but people were bitching and moaning. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, who cares? Who really cares? It's a movie. Like, I don't really care about I don't really read the comics. I really could care less. I care about particular things. The Mandarin, I didn't give a fuck. I seriously didn't care. All I cared about was just see Iron Man kick ass, and he did. And the Extremis. The fuck, Siri? Apparently Siri was like, dude, I wanted to hear your discussion. What the fuck? I heard Siri go off. I'm like, the fuck? I didn't say any, like, I think I have the Hey Siri thing on. And it did it again because I said it. So, that is officially it. I think that was the... What the fuck? It just played music. It started playing Rap God. Man, my phone is fucking haunted, I think. I don't know. I think my Xbox One is haunted too. I don't know. So, that is officially it on today's video. Man, it was kind of weird at the end when you saw my phone start going off, and who knows. You heard me ranting about other movies and shit, but overall Justice League was okay. It was good. Not great. It's fun, but it's kind of flawed. Like, it's not perfect. And I don't think it needs to be perfect or flawless. Like, it should just be the movie that, like, it should just be what it is. And I'm pretty sure down the line, maybe in like 20 years, we're gonna see a Zack Snyder cut or something like that, and then we're gonna have the fucking Ultimate Edition with both Josh Whedon and Zack Snyder's cuts. Oh God, man, Warner Brothers is just. It's funny, like Marvel Studios, like it's not. I think why Marvel is doing a lot better than DC. They don't have like Marvel Comics is not necessarily like the movies of Marvel are not being like meddled with in any way with by Disney. Disney owns them. Disney owns them. But Disney is not saying or panicking or anything. The head honcho of the whole fucking thing is Kevin Feige, and the thing is, he's a fan of Marvel Comics. He's a fan. Who would have thought of that? A fan of Marvel Comics is the head honcho and producer and the CEO of Marvel Studios. Like, who would have thought? They took a gamble with Iron Man and it paid off, and then led to what we have now. A cinematic universe of great stories and everything. And now we have Infinity War, which is apparently going to be the finale of everything. And then there's going to be 20 more movies with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm like, oh my god, don't really plan that ahead. Don't really plan ahead. It's like, seriously, don't really plan that far out. Like, you can't. But then again, I don't know what goes through the head of Kevin Feige. I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige has an idea of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to go, where it's going to go. So that's officially it on today's video. I finally should say it now because I think I said it now 3 times. If you like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to also check out my Instagram because I make cool edits and Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also do reenactments and cosplays, so go check it out. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.